Hello, savvy listeners. I am excited you are taking the time to invest in yourself today. Savvy, the business podcast, will show you how your daily habits can create your own platform. Experts will share solutions and efficient tips to create a roadmap just for you. One thing that can make this happen: change your habits, change your success. Welcome to Savvy, the business podcast. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in on Savvy the Business Podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Ambers, and we are here with Miss Lina Loa. And a lot of you may know her, have seen her. She's been in a variety of different movies. She sings, she's an artist, as you can see. I mean, she just has a long list of things that's just under her name right now. So I'm glad that you're able to join us and watch the show. So let's get into it and have this conversation. So thanks again, Lina, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like I said, there's a lot of things that you have going on, but I can tell that you're only one person. So,
yeah, I'm only one person.
You're only one person.
Thank you.
So, first, let's get into how you got started in movies and singing and things like that.
Okay. Singing, definitely. I started in church, of course. Most of us did back then. So I used to sing with my grandmother and my mom going around. So that's where I kind of built up my nerves to sing and learned how to sing just from listening to them. Even my aunt, my grandpa, they were all in the church choir. And so I ended up joining the church choir and being the youngest member. So we went all around East Texas performing, got used to that. And then I was singing in 7th grade, I think 6th or 7th grade, middle school, singing opera, 17th century Baroque and classical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I never studied it, but I naturally had a operatic tone. So my teacher kept me after class one day, and she caught me talking. So she didn't think I knew the music, so she made me sing. You know how they do. She made me sing by myself. So I sung, and she's like, "Wow, how did you learn to sing opera?" And I was like, "I don't know," but she kept me and she took me around. So I started competition. That led me to do competition for a scholarship at Howard. I got that, with audition. And then I went on to mix hip hop and opera. And so it got the attention of some record execs back then, and they couldn't figure out where to put me, like what category, but then I ended up signing to Atlantic Records. And because the music was so different, they thought, she should do music for movies. So that's how I got started doing the music for background. And then sometimes they would ask me to make a cameo. So that's how I got into doing the movies.
Wow. That's one of those accidental successes that a lot of people, have. And I'm sure you probably blew your teacher away because one, she didn't think you could sing, and
right.
She knew the music, so she was probably like,
right.
"Oh, wait."
Yeah, I will never forget it. She took me into my English. It was my choir teacher. She took me to the math teacher. She took me to my English teacher. She's like, "You gotta hear this," and I was confused because I was like, "What's the big deal?" I think I might have just watched TV and heard opera singers and just it was just a natural thing for me. But yeah, she was in shock, but I'm glad because that's how I ended up getting the scholarship.
Well, and then at that age, we play around with different things and we don't realize the extent of it because at that age, you're not thinking about, no movies and none of it.
Exactly.
You're around.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, so how once you, like you said, over the years you got discovered, you signed to Atlantic Records. Did you start as a solo artist or did they put you in a group?
I was in a group before all of this. I've been in a few girl groups. Girl groups are really hard. So I was in a few girl groups and I tended to be the peacekeeper, but they didn't last. But it did teach me a lot before I ended up signing solo because I did sign to the major as a solo artist. I was on an independent label in a girl group. So yeah, I was a solo artist on Atlantic, and then I was a solo artist on Hidden Beach.
Okay, okay. So from the music, did you just kind of, grow out of it, or, how did you get started with the acting?
That that's what when I went to Howard, I I wanted to act. This is like a couple of times in my life where I wanted to do something other than music. Like
Yeah.
even in high school, I wanted to quit music and be a cheerleader, but the whole school staff was against that, so they didn't vote me into cheerleading. And I'm glad because I stayed in music and got the scholarship. With acting, even though I was on a music scholarship, I still wanted to audition and act. And so I did an audition for this critical judge, and she liked the acting, but still my teachers at the time, they still pushed me into music. They were like, this is the
Hmm.
right path for you.
Hmm.
So I ended up getting an opportunity to act because of the music that I would place in music and in the films.
Hmm.
And a lot of times they would just want me to cameo. But the small acting roles that I did, some Bollywood film, and um, just some independent films.
Hmm.
The the cameo parts were with production companies like Sony Music. I did This Christmas cameo where I sang Santa Baby with Chris Brown and Mackay Pfeiffer. So many people in that movie.
Yeah,
Lauren
it
London.
is. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
it
a great movie.
it is. No, it was. It was a really great movie. Um, if you had to, pick one or the other, what would you pick and why?
Music or acting?
Hmm.
Definitely music. Acting is like a big thing too. You get to people get to experience things that they normally wouldn't experience through that actor. But I would choose music because it's such a life shaping thing. Like you really are responsible for the state of the listener because you can shape that state. You know what I'm saying? It's a spirit, like those words and being repeated and the storytelling. You can inspire people, or you can depress people, or you can enlighten them. Like music does so much. So definitely music.
Okay. Well, I've heard, I'm neither a singer nor an actor, but I've heard, some people say like even in certain movie roles, especially the roles where they have to really dig deep in their emotions for a particular character, that they kind of say the same thing about, acting when they're going into music. Do you think, that's probably the same thing as well? Or just personally, you just like the music better?
I think it's the same thing, but with music, you can carry it anywhere, and you're gonna be singing those parts over and over. You're gonna hear that music in your head. You're gonna relive that moment more often than you would in film.
Mm,
And what I love about what I love about music is me when I needed certain encouragement, I can listen to an artist that I really like, and the music will change my mood or give me hope or inspire me. That's really what I wanted to do because I remember being alone a lot as a kid,
mhm.
and just listening to music and lyrics. Like I always talk about how the love songs. There were so many more love songs when I was growing up. Now music talks about different stuff, but
Yeah.
it talked about love a lot. So there's a lot of inspiration in like music. I think previous music, like now music is a lot different as far as the message. I still like country music because they still have really good messages.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a message, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find these days. But the messages and the music that I grew up listening to got me through a lot, taught me a lot.
No, I completely understand that. It seems like it's slowly starting to shift back to what music
Oh,
used to be, slowly. So I can't wait to see um, what's going to happen with it, if we're going to get that, that 80s and 90s vibe back, or if it's just going to be a little dabble here and there. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with, future music, I just say.
can't wait.